So how do we use sounds with Python? Unfortunately, there's not really an easy answer to that because it varies depending on the system you're running and what you want to use it for. If you Google it, just how to play sound in Python, close enough, you're going to get a lot of different resources and solutions provided. And if you search it up on Windows or on Mac, you're also going to get some different sources as well. And that's because they work a little bit differently in how they play sounds. Not only that, but you're also going to get a lot of sub-libraries that allow you to do certain things with them or make it easier or allow different formats. So there's unfortunately not one perfect solution. So for right now, we're going to focus on just an easy solution if you're running on a Mac. So the first solution only works if we're in Terminal. So we're going to go ahead and open Terminal just so you can see how it works. Make that a little bigger so you can see it easier. And we'll go ahead and run Python. And it's actually just a print command. So if we do /A, or the escape character with an A, we'll get that bell sound. Let's go ahead and try it again, just with my speakers a bit louder. There you go. Now this only works in Terminal. If we try it in PyCharm, let's go ahead and create a new one, and we'll call this Sound Test. And we'll just create a new Python file, sound test, and we just do the same thing, so print /A, and if we run this, no sound. Now you might be saying, well, I'm using Python 3, and I was using Python 2 here, and that's true, but if we exit, and we run Python 3 instead, it works here, but still doesn't work here. So that bell sound only works in Terminal. So what do we do here? Well, there's actually a pretty easy solution, and that's using a built-in library. Now there are lots of custom libraries that you can download. I'm not going to go over those right now. But one that you already have with your machine on a Mac is import subprocess. And this is going to call a subprocess to do something during the program. The one that we're going to do is subprocess.call, and in parentheses, in square brackets, we're going to tell it to AF play, and then a comma, and whatever the name of the sound is. So like example.wave. Now I don't have an example.wave, so if I run this, we get an error code because I can't find it. But this works. So if I right click here and I tell it to reveal in Finder, we can see we're in the right file. And I've already prepared these two sounds here, which are actually from a Morse code sample. So if we play it, you can hear that one and that one. So these are the ones that I want to play. So if I drop these into here, and if I go back to PyCharm, I can put the name of that here. So dit.wave or da.wave. Now this is a file path here. So I'm just putting in the file name right now, which works because they're in the same folder as this Python file. So if I rename this to dit.wave and I play this, we have that one. And if I make a copy and try da.wave, now we'll hear the other one. Now something to notice, it played one file and it waited for it to finish before playing the other file. So this can work for certain purposes. If you want like some sort of sound effect when your program finishes, or when it executes something successfully, or when the program starts up, That works fine as long as it's short, so hopefully the user won't notice the pause in the program. However, if you're wanting background music, this won't work for that, because it's going to wait until the song finishes playing before continuing to run the program. And if you put that sound on a loop, well, then the rest of the program is never going to run, because it's just going to keep looping that background music. So it'll work for what we want in the next video with Morse code, but it's not going to work for something else that you might want to use it with. Now, like I said, this is a file path, and if we end up having a program with lots of sounds, we might not want to clutter this whole area up. So if we go back to Reveal in Finder, we can make a folder in here, and we could call it like sounds, and we could drop these in here. Now, if I run this again, it's going to complain because it can't find it, and that's because I moved the file. So I need to update this file path to match what I just did here. So if it's in sounds, then we need to put sounds / for both, and now it will work. If on the other hand that we have like a really massive program with like subfolders inside, so let's go back to our Finder here. Let's go up a folder. So if we have just this big massive folder with tons of different things and lots of different parts to a really complex program, and maybe this is part of the program itself, right? And so it's like a subprogram inside of a larger program, and maybe we don't want sounds in here because maybe all different parts of the program are pulling from these same sounds. So maybe we actually have sounds. We'll go ahead and just drag this out for right now. Maybe we actually have it in here with all of these other things. So we have sounds here now. If we run this, it's not going to find it. Now granted, I have sounds written here in a folder, but that folder is not in this folder, and that's where it's going to look because I have not told it to otherwise. If I want it to look up in the directory before this, then I would need to put a .. and I'll do the same one for this, and that tells it to look in the folder before the current folder. So instead of looking in sound test, it's looking in PyCharm projects. And because what follows that is another directory name, sounds / it now is going to look for sounds / or sounds, the sounds folder, inside of this PyCharm project, which it should then find these files here. So let's see if it works. And it did. So there you go. So there's a simple way of playing sounds with Python on the Mac.